and welcome to this episode of Ninja Talk. The title for tonight's episode is Suiting Up with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. My name is Eric, one of your panelists for tonight, and I'm joined by Mike
What's up?
and Carl.
Yo, 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 yo.
Without any further delay, let's get started. So, gents, we've all watched the greatness that is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, sir.
From the first episode to the last episode, what are your thoughts?
Yep. I'll go first, I guess. First of all, I want to say that anybody who is trashing this show, talking about WandaVision was better, y'all were capping. Capping. Stop playing. Stop playing. The show was fantastic. I mean, even the first two episodes were a little slow, but that's like every show, right?
Yeah, that's to be expected though.
You know what I'm saying? So, but once you get to episode 3, episode 4, from there on, fire.
Right.
Fire. I gotta give it a 10 out of 10. I'm just throwing that out there. 10 out of 10. I don't give out 10s a lot. I don't. This was fire. But yeah.
That's what's up. No, it was great. The first 2 episodes, was kind of, I think I like slept through like 10 minutes of the first episode, and I had to rewind everything just to like so I could catch up.
Mm-hmm.
But by like episode 3, I was like, okay, like damn, like this is really good, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I almost cried at near the ending, bro.
I did cry.
Like, I was about to,
I didn't almost cry. I did cry.
I'm over here trying to figure out what's in the atmosphere.
Emotional last moment, bro.
I was over here trying to figure out what's in the atmosphere. What did Bill Gates put in the air this time? Got me about to start crying. But nah, man, that it was deep. Like I think that's one of the first shows I've ever watched that got so deep.
Yep.
To that extent. You know what I'm saying?
I was also gonna say that Marvel doesn't usually do this. I was shocked. I was like, damn.
Right.
I was like, they don't get to they've done a good job with like diversity, bringing in people of color, and they're trying to bring in some LGBTQ, but they don't really tackle like social issues.
Yeah. So like what's really going on in real life?
Yeah.
Right. Yo.
So
okay.
when they did that here, I was like, oh my God.
So
and it's actually kind of funny that you say that, because I think it might have been on Facebook, but it was like Stan Lee actually, it was a quote about what Marvel actually was.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it said something about it being like a reflection of like what's going on out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And with this series, that couldn't be like any more true.
Right.
Right.
To that point, I think X-Men is like a great metaphor for like the war on people of color. Like the mutants are people of color basically, and they're just trying to fight for their right to just be like regular people. So
Right.
X-Men was always a great example of that.
But it's dope to see that he like Marvel's like integrating it in multiple different like comic book strips,
Mm-hmm.
It was like I also got conspiracy theory vibes from watching a lot of it, a lot of the episodes. I'll just give an example with the with how Zemo, I think it was his name was Zemo,
Yeah,
was trying to control Bucky with the code phrases and whatnot. It made me think about like how I think it was around World War II. It's either World War II or it was during the Korean War. There was like this thing that they were trying to work on called MK Ultra. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Nah. It's like a whole bunch of like tests they run on people to try to mind control them.
Okay.
And a lot of times they'll use like phrases and stuff to like trigger them. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like I
So activate
definitely
a sleeper agent, basically.
yeah. So I definitely got a lot of those vibes up in there.
Wait. So, okay, that makes sense considering Bucky's history. So, question, Carl, for you, because
What's up?
I know you be slacking.
Damn. Dude
Did you?
came for me.
Yeah, man, to throw you out there like that, bro. I'm sorry.
Nah. Real question though. Did you watch Captain America, and then Civil War?
I think I seen Captain America, but it was just so long ago that I don't even remember it.
Okay, because
But I did not see Civil War. I read up on it a little bit, but I did not see it.
gotcha. Because to your point, um, Captain America takes place during World War II, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
And then Civil War shows you that whole history between Zemo and Bucky as the Winter Soldier and mind controlling him and
right. I was
all that
reading
stuff.
in a little bit on that. Something about him when he was like with Hydra, and they were like commencing those like experiments on him to try to like control him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Zemo got hold of Broussard's commands or something like that.
Yeah, he got hold of like the book where they stash all their like code words for their
Right,
sleeper agents or whatever.
right.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think he found it like on an auction or something like that.
I think he stole it from him.
Possibly.
He stole it from him, then he killed him.
The doctor?
Yeah, Zemo. I may be wrong. Because like I said, I read very little bit up on it. I didn't really like watch it or anything like that. I just
Yeah.
was reading wiki links and stuff like that.
Got you. So, for me, like I said, first two episodes I was like, all right, it's a little slow. But I mean, I was already going in, I was kind of already expecting that, because it's like, not like in anything, it's not like the first one or two episodes are like action packed. It's kind of just trying to just get you in the mood, kind of like, get you, on the same wavelength. And then once they hit Madripoor, actually, even before they hit Madripoor, dude was like, "Oh, we need somebody to help us." And then, lo and behold, it's like, "Oh snap, we're gonna break Zemo out of jail."
Right.
I mean, technically, he broke himself out of jail.
That sequence
If
was
you
lit.
really
I
think
like
about
that.
it. And Bucky said, technically, he broke himself out of jail. We just happened to be there when it happened. And Bucky just kind of set the things in motion, and then Zemo did the rest. But yeah, Madripoor was like crazy, and then you know from there it was just like shoot, firing in all cylinders. It's like damn,
Right.
this is one hell of a show. And I mean, don't get me wrong, one division was good, but I think the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a lot better.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Mainly
Yeah.
because, like you said, it tackles like stuff that we can relate to.
Mhm.
Right,
So like I feel like whenever you can relate to whatever's going on in a show, like it grabs your attention that much more. And I think
right.
like that's what happened with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
Also,
like what was like some of your favorite parts like throughout the whole 6 episodes?
ooh, that is a good question.
I
Ugh.
think one of my favorite parts, and it's kind of dark, but I love it because it was dark, was the scene where John Walker kills that dude. That was a
Yeah,
beautiful scene, bro. I love
it really was.
because
You know,
because with Marvel, like especially going to Disney Plus, I didn't expect anything dark coming from these shows. Like I thought they
Right,
keep it light, and they have been. Like WandaVision
yeah,
was pretty light, besides the whole dealing with grief thing. But the shows were like light and funny, and then I kind of expected Falcon and Winter Soldier to be light and funny a little bit,
yeah,
but it got dark, especially in that moment. I was like, wow, yo, and to me, if they do decide to bring back Daredevil and Punisher, I have hope for those shows now.
Hmm.
Yeah. With that being said, do you think they would bring them back for just like another like TV series or like put them on the big screen?
That's a good question. Wow. I don't know. I could see Daredevil and Punisher on the big screen. I don't think a character like Jessica Jones is going to be on the big screen. But
Probably
like,
not, because I mean, how many people really know about
right,
Jessica Jones like that? She's not really a household name unless you're like, you know, a hardcore comic book buff.
right, and
Mm,
Daredevil is like a household name
yeah.
as well as Punisher, so I could definitely see them bringing them.
I mean, let's not forget they already had like big screen movies.
Right.
So I mean, not just be like rebooting them like they've done. People have done with like Batman and Spider Man, obviously. So yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, what about y'all favorite scenes? Go ahead.
Honestly, obviously, I could go with the episode 6, that
Mhm,
speech that Cat made
for sure.
with the senators. Like, damn, that's just like talk no jutsu at like 1,000%.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing.
But you gotta admit, like, but you already, but I mean, that doesn't. That's it's not really surprising though because like that's what he's been doing from like the jump though. So if
Yeah,
you go back to what was it, uh, Captain America
probably
and
Cap 2.
yeah, like Cap, that's where he meets Steve,
Hmm.
and basically doing that with other vets and stuff like that. So like I already knew he had that capability,
Hmm.
but it's just like I feel like seeing him do that and his sick ass new Captain America suit, I was like, damn. See now, they have no choice but to pay attention because he's right. And the result of that speech, they don't end up going through with that vote. So obviously he made an impact.
I think that scene might be the best speech in any superhero movie. I feel, unless
Hmm.
I'm forgetting something. I was trying to think about it earlier, and I'm like, damn, that was probably like the best speech. Like, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. Now I'd have to agree with you. That's probably my favorite scene too.
Hmm.
The speech, just how like he kind of like outlined on everything, and not even to get off topic. Speaking of talk no jutsu and Naruto, it's like, and not even just Naruto, but like most animes in general, they always have to, you know, give the the villain a backstory which you can relate to. Now you feel some kind of sympathy for
Yep.
the villain, and it's like, you know, they definitely did a lot of that
Mhm.
in this show, and how homeboy try to sympathize and empathize. I get those two words mixed up all the time, but he tried to, like, identify with um Carly Morgenthau's
Right.
struggle, and
Yeah.
spoke out about that situation. It's
That's a
like,
good
oh,
scene too. That's a really good
Mm.
scene.
right.
So speaking of villains, do you think that the Flag Smashers were actually villains?
Mm. Um,
Yes.
I'd say yes too,
Okay.
just because I think they were going a little too extreme.
Right.
Like their cause was, just, but I think their means
Mm.
were.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I mean, I kind of agree too. It's like when you look at the cause as a whole, it's like, yeah, I definitely agree with you. But the way you're going about it and the
Mhm.
actions that you decide to take, it's like it's not necessarily the right path.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
and when you really think about it, that's kind of like the case with a lot of villains. It's like you agree with their message, you don't necessarily agree with how they go about it.
Right.
Right.
So
I also think it might be like a metaphor of what may come next.
Mm,
Um, so like in real life, we start off with peaceful protests and then they escalate to like riots. And then what's the next step after that? You know? Um, I was listening to some Kendrick the other day, To Pimp a Butterfly. So the last song on the album, he's having an interview with Tupac, and whenever this original interview happened, Kendrick like spliced it and asked his own questions. So Tupac's
Yes.
answers made sense. Tupac back in like the 90s was like, yo, I think America's not ready for what's coming next. You know,
wow.
it starts off peaceful, and then next time one of these situations come out, it's gonna be riots in the streets. And I don't think
Right.
America's ready for that. So
Right,
I
right, right.
I kind of think in a way it's a metaphor of, okay, we're at protests, riots. It's only so long till somebody like Carly in real life is killing people, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
politicians and stuff, trying to get their message heard.
Yeah.
Um, you know how like they kind of say you can foreshadow what's to come by just watching like TV, like watching like TV shows and stuff like that. I don't know
Mhm.
if you get those like how they do with like the Simpsons, and
Yeah.
Family Guy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like when Homie was saying, just going off of what you said, when Homie was saying how like what's next? Um our Carly 2.0,
Yep.
you guys
Yep.
are not ready for that.
Hmm.
And I was really like, now that you bring that up, I'm like thinking about like, yo, you know what? You're right, yo. They wouldn't be ready for Carly 2.0 because she just had what, 8 people,
Yep.
and she was trying to make an army.
Yeah.
The next person now is gonna look at the flaws of the first person to create a foolproof plan and be like, all right,
Yep.
here's how we're gonna, so we don't feel like this person did. You feel me? Kind of like a Hitler when you think about it, because like really Hitler just watched. He just paid attention to how the Germans fell during World War One. It was like, yo, these are the pitfalls we are gonna duck
Hmm.
so we can make things successful.
And he damn near almost succeeded.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Whew.
it's like, yeah, I think this show really, really touched on like what's really going on in the world, and that's to a certain degree. It's like, damn, that's crazy. But also, it's like, damn, that's kind of scary, bro. Like,
Right.
oh, but I think it was well done.
I feel like there's a lot more subliminal, I don't want to say subliminal, but like deeper messages that we probably wouldn't have like caught on, you know,
Hmm.
in the
Yeah,
moment. Like when Homie was giving his speech, he was talking to one of the ladies from the GRC, both the lady and the dude.
Hmm.
yeah,
He was saying
senators.
that she had control to all the banks,
Hmm.
and then
Facts.
he was, and then the dude was like one phone call away from to like open up borders or something like that.
Feed a million.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was really thinking about that, and it's crazy that they specified on how much control the banks have over a lot of these things. You feel me?
Right.
So it's like I was reading something online that said that like after the politicians, it comes the corporations, and then up top of the corporations are the banks.
Hmm.
And there's like 3 levels of banks, and I just forgot them.
Hmm.
So it's like most laws are gonna be formulated to accommodate the corporations because we live in a communist society. I mean, not sorry, not communist society,
Capitalist.
capitalist society. So it's like when you think about the way like these guys were, how Homeboy was saying in the speech, how um he was saying that like when you guys are making certain decrees, y'all have your own people in the room. Y'all don't have the
Mm.
Carly Morgenthals in the room. You don't
Right.
have people like me in the room to be able to speak up on that type of stuff. And I feel like that's gonna bring up a revolution in like, and then yo man, I don't want to seem like I talk too much, but um another thing I picked up was homie said sorry, not homie said it it took him to get to a position of influence as a person of color to
Mhm.
finally get his voice heard out
Of
for the
course.
people that they were ducking,
Mhm.
like Isaiah Bradley.
Mhm.
When
Did him
Isaiah
dirty,
Bradley was
bro.
trying to get his voice out there for a minute, and they arrested him. They arrested him and killed him off. So it was really, and I bring that up just to say, man, right now you see right now we're in an era where you see a lot of black folks and people of color. And when I say people of color, I'm also referring to like, Asian people, people of other ethnicities as well.
Yep.
You see them coming up into positions of influence where now it's like they can they can be in that room when they're formulating decrees and stuff like that. Didn't mean to dominate the.
Nah, it was good. It was good.
Mm. But I mean, like what he was saying, like you're one email away from like tearing down, clearing out a forest and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like honestly, like that's straight out of like today. Because when people are making laws and signing executive orders and stuff, like we the people, we're not in that room when they're like going over that stuff and all that. So it's true. Um, what being said, I mean, if we were to have like a representative and stuff, like I'm pretty sure a lot of things that have been passed and written, in the past wouldn't have gone through because it's like, who is that really benefiting? Definitely not benefiting me. Definitely not benefiting like thousands of like homeless people or whatever around the world. So, like I said, I mean that's kind of like why it was one of my favorite scenes because it just like made you think about the stuff that's actually going on in the world.
Right.
So,
That's why I love to see like athletes and rappers, realizing they're more than just entertainers, and now they're like really using their platform
yeah.
to highlight issues and stuff. I love to see it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Um, Another issue this show kind of tackled in a way, and I don't think a lot of people understood it, was the character John Walker. Um,
Mm,
yo, everybody hate this dude. I'm like, but he went
It
through it
just means
too.
he did his job right, though.
But he
right.
went through his own struggles too. It was to me, what I got from it was, you go into the military, you serve your time, and then this dude was definitely struggling with like PTSD or something. Like he wasn't right mentally, obviously, and there was no one there to help him out. Where was the government? They were like deuces. So
Yeah.
um, I think that was a great metaphor of the military, the U.S. You serve your time in the military, and then you come back home and you're treated as a second class citizen. So man, 6 episodes, man. Yo, they got deep.
Yeah.
Real deep.
But I think I saw something about there being possibly a second seasons. I don't know. We'll have to
Word.
wait and see.
That'd be
Um,
lit.
but I think also to like go back to what you were saying, I think LeVar was kind of like his grounding, like one of his grounding, like things that kind of grounded him. Because like was with him since like
Lamar.
jump. Lamar?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What am?
Oh, that was LeVar. Anyway, um, yeah, he's been with him since he was with him since the jump. So he kind of kept him grounded a
Hmm.
little bit.
Right.
So that's why when he died,
Mm,
like dude legit like lost it.
right.
Like
Right.
like um then that goes back into that scene where he, kills the guy in like, in front of the public. And the thing is, I don't think what he did was necessarily the issue. It was mainly like that he was seen by the whole world
Mhm.
that made, like kind of sealed the fate. Like so like
Yeah,
I would imagine if he did what he did, but like no one was around, like
covered it
to
up.
capture, yeah, capture it with the cell phone or whatever, it would have been like swept under the rug,
Mhm.
no problem. But since he was captured, it's kind of like, okay, well, our hands are tied. There's not much we can do. Like we gotta you know strip you of like the title and all your achievements and stuff, which also isn't right because it's like you said, like you guys created me.
Mhm.
So I mean, like one mistake, if you want to call it a mistake, and then you just throw me out like yesterday's trash.
Exactly.
So
That being said, homie, I think his name is Wyatt Russell in real life. Did a great
yeah,
job. Phenomenal actor. Played his role well.
Lamar.
you did,
That's Lamar, right?
No, John Walker. John Walker.
Okay, okay,
John
okay,
Walker.
okay.
But I mean, going back to John Walker, I was kind of like when he showed up for the end, for the end fight. I was like, okay, John, kind of redeem yourself a little bit, small bit, not entirely, but you're on your way. Um, that being said, I don't know how long that's gonna last because he's in cahoots with Madam Hydra, so
Right.
we'll see how that goes.
Okay, that's who that was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um.
Yeah. I actually was reading somewhere, because there was a point in the show where he crushed all the super serums, super blah,
Mhm.
the superhuman syndromes. Blah, oh my gosh. Blah, tongue twister.
Super
The
serum.
serums, the superhero,
Super
the
Soldier
superhuman
Serum.
serums. There we go. Jeez Louise. But anyways, when he was crushing all of them, he saved one because and he was like thinking back on his conversation with Lamar about some mission that they were doing, and they would have been able to save more people if they had the superhuman serum. I was reading somewhere that later on, um I don't know if they're gonna show it later on, but he eventually takes some form of a superhuman serum.
Right. I was under the impression in the show he took the serum because
Yeah,
he
that
definitely
that
had
was my
some.
impression too.
There was definitely a moment where I'm like, okay, this dude definitely has super strength.
Yeah,
Right.
like that moment when when he fought Bucky and Sam. I was like, homeboy, he definitely took the serum because
Right.
if he didn't, there would be no way in hell he would be able to like handle them the way he did.
Exactly.
And I feel like at the end, wasn't he holding that truck from falling at some point?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was definitely souped up.
yeah. But like that being said, do you think that him taking the serum um made him go a little loopy, or do you think that just brought out more of what was already there?
Is it like steroids in a way where you get this roid
Yeah,
rage?
yeah,
Maybe. Um, I feel like Zemo said something about that. That once you take the serum, you lose your mental state, and he was like,
mhm,
Steve Rogers is the exception.
yeah,
So I think it might have pushed him over the edge. That moment where he kills Homeboy, I think he's on the serum
yeah,
at that point. And I
Mm.
think the serum pushed him over the edge and kind of gave him that bloodlust we saw.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a combination of his mental state plus the serum um pushing him over the edge.
Yeah.
Low key, I figured he took the serum like legit right after that scene.
Right.
Like, cause like when he picks it up, he's like, "Done. Let me." I bet you, like, if he had time, he would have took it then and there. So
Mhm.
I feel like right after he pocketed it and he left that situation, homeboy, he took it. Like,
Mhm.
and then the next time he makes an appearance, he's already on it. And like you said, that leads up to him like doing what he did. Like, yeah. So I mean, I basically I feel like he was a little already like not entirely stable to begin with, and then taking the serum, like you said, he just went over the top. And then on top of that, Lamar is killed. And that's that. I
Right.
mean, that would send anybody
Yep.
off edge. Like your homeboy just got killed. Like you
Right.
know, it's like that would just have you seeing red, and
For
the
sure.
actions followed. So
What do you guys think about the future of superhero shows and with streaming service and stuff? So we had Justice League, which was like a 4-hour movie that would never ever get released into theaters.
no,
But now we have streaming service and stuff. So will we get longer movies? Will we get these little mini series right here, 6 episodes, boom, right here, too long for a movie, but too short of a season for a traditional show. So like the rules are kind of changing now. What do you think? What do you guys think is
I
the
mean,
future of all that?
it wouldn't be a bad idea. Because usually after a movie, after like they finish putting out a movie, fans are like eager for more,
Mm,
and it's like if they can still be able to provide that to satisfy that desire for more, and they don't have to spend a couple dollars at the theater, they could just watch it on their streaming service.
right.
It seems a little bit convenient for both parties because they're gonna make money from the streaming services, from the streams.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's so I feel like like so say you like release 2 or 3 movies or whatever, and then you come out with a series, whether it be a mini series or like a 12 episode series. I feel like if they could like pick up where the movies left off and kind of slide
Mm,
it into like the series, that'd be pretty dope. Because one, you're kind of giving continuing on like the story, not really dropping the movie and then waiting like a year, 2 years for the next one to come out. It's
right.
like you're seeing like you're watching some of the stuff on the small screen, kind of like fill in the gaps between the movies. I think that's a pretty good way to go. And like Carl said, I mean, you're gonna make money either way. So, um, and I mean, with that, with also on the series, like you can probably get away with a little more than you would be able to, like say, like a like a full on Disney movie, like Avenger movie.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, yeah, there's a few things you can get away with that, like a few words and stuff like that. But with the series, you could probably get away with a lot more, like that whole John Walker situation when he like took out Homeboy. So like you can get a lot more of that in the series, and not really have to worry about like people not like liking it because there's more to it. So like if you're not digging what that just happened in that episode, like okay, whatever, it's just one episode, and you can move on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Right.
True. So like TV series are less critiqued versus like a
yeah,
movie. It's like it has to be a hit.
yeah, basically,
Whereas,
basically, because like with the series, like you can have like one or two, not so great episodes, but with the movie,
right.
if um like a certain part of it's trash, it kind of like diminishes
Yeah,
like the overall feel of the
facts.
movie.
I feel like Marvel and DC are probably nervous of like asking their audience to keep up with everything. So like right now, Marvel's basically saying, okay, you have to watch all our movies, and then we're gonna put out WandaVision. If you didn't watch Endgame, you're not gonna understand WandaVision. All right, we're gonna put out Falcon. If you didn't watch, the Captain America trilogy and Endgame and stuff, you're not gonna understand every single thing going on in Falcon. So I feel like they're kind of scared of going that route, but it looks
Mm,
like they're kind of committing to it. Like at first, they had these TV shows that had nothing to do with the movies, right? Like Daredevil, we never see him in the movies. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. Hopefully it's a sign for let's bring Daredevil into the theaters, into the universe officially.
Yeah. So back to that point, I feel like I feel like they're really targeting like the comic book heads and like the diehard fans. It's
Mhm.
like, all right, well, there's we came out with like the big movies for the year, and so if you want us to hold you over, we're gonna drop this series until like we start releasing like the big titles again. So I feel like you don't have to necessarily like watch them. I mean, if I it might benefit you to like get the whole story.
Right.
Um, but I feel like if you didn't watch them and then just went into like the bigger movies that are coming out, you'd be fine.
I don't know. It depends. Like at first I thought these shows would be like little side stories, but there's like some really important things happening in these shows. So I don't
Right. No, you're right about that.
know. All that being said, I've been wondering, and I think a lot of people have been wondering as they were watching the show, what happened to Steve Rogers? Is he alive still?
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
I was
thing. Like,
wondering that too.
so, I got an email about like, cause you guys know the app Quora.
No.
Like, it's where people like just ask questions and stuff.
Yeah.
And like one person asked the question. They're like, "So Steve Rogers like dead?" Because they said, Sam said he's gone.
Right.
So it's like, does that mean he's dead? And some dude answered, he was like, "No, people are just being gullible and stupid, and he's not gone. He's just not here." And it's like it wouldn't make sense for him to be dead. I was like, I mean, I don't agree because I feel like his character arc is over.
Mhm.
So I mean, to say he's gone, you could say, I mean, you could take it either way. And you say he's just not here, like in the here at the moment,
Mhm.
or he can be dead.
I feel like
Um,
if he was dead, there should have been like a headstone at least.
yeah. So
um,
I don't know. Like I don't know, and I know there's like talks of a fourth Captain America movie.
right.
So I don't know if he's gonna make like a miraculous reappearance in that, or
Right.
though they might address that he actually died off screen or something. I don't know.
I think so I'm thinking like trying to think of like the timeline of all this. So Endgame ends and then like WandaVision seems to happen like within weeks of the events of
Yeah.
Endgame. When does Falcon happen? Does it happen at the same time as WandaVision? Because they don't even reference any of the stuff that happened in WandaVision.
Well,
Is it
see, I don't even think they know like the events of
right?
WandaVision even
So
happened.
is it like happening at the same time? And
Mm.
news didn't make it to them.
Yeah,
So if it is happening at the same time, that would mean it happened within weeks. This show Falcon happened within weeks of Endgame, right?
yeah,
So did Captain America die in those 4 weeks?
true. So I mean, maybe he just went back to his. I don't even know, honestly.
He's probably retired on an island. I think that's where I'm thinking. Like he's retired on an island, chilling.
Maybe. He's like, well, I'm too old for this shit, so good luck. Okay. You do you, Steve. I got you. But I mean, yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. Um, like I said, I hope maybe that gets addressed in the next upcoming Captain America movie, or maybe some other show or series, Loki. I don't know, but I think we definitely need an answer to that.
I also like how both these shows, WandaVision and Falcon, address like the blip, the snap, and bringing back half the population. I think that's dope as hell. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, everybody came back and everything was back to normal. It was like, no, 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 no.
No, no,
A
sir.
lot happened within those 5 years.
5 billion people come back out of nowhere. It's like, I mean, that kind of just puts you back in the situation before Thanos, and we were barely surviving that.
Right.
So it feels like it could be a lot worse now.
Mhm.
So it's like, so would you really call the events of Endgame a win, or would you call it a loss?
It's a short-term win, and they got a lot to do, a lot of work to do for the long term.
You gotta do better. Got to do better.
I mean, Thanos was kind of right, bro. Humans killing the Earth.
Yo, not even to get off topic.
Yeah.
I had a question about Sharon Carter.
Yep, yep.
So
No, that's definitely on topic, bro.
okay, word. So okay, I was reading somewhere that she's the one that kills Captain America, but I don't know if this is congruent with the television series.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So because I know she in the end she like is against you know the good guys. That's
Right.
I'm gonna put it that way. She's against the good guys. So it's like, do you think like she plays part in like taking down the Avengers? Like,
What
I
what's
don't
gonna
want to ask what led her to that point, but I guess I kind of already know the answer.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna ask it anyways because I want to see what you guys are gonna say.
Like comic book wise, I don't really know like Sharon's backstory or anything like that. And when she showed up on screen, to be honest, I had no idea who she was.
Right.
They were like, Sharon. I'm like, was she in the movies? I don't remember her.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier, bro.
I really don't remember her.
How was it in Civil War too?
I, th-
I think she was definitely in Civil War.
I really don't remember. So, yeah, I don't know much about Sharon Carter. Eric?
Um. So yeah. Well, the whole she became a fugitive when she got Cap, Bucky, and Sam their gear when they were trying to flee to the airport. So like once she did that, she became a fugitive, which then leads up to her like going off the grid or whatever, and her ended up in Madripoor, and becoming the power broker. Which honestly, like when she first showed, well, no, yeah, when she first showed up, and she had access to, when they first mentioned the power broker, I was like, okay, this power broker must be hella powerful. And then she comes out of nowhere and she has access to a satellite. I was like, she's the power broker. Like, no way in hell she ain't the power broker. And lo and behold, they come to find out she's the power
All
broker.
right. They weren't
I was
really
like, called
subtle.
it, called
What's the
it.
power broker?
Yeah,
What's the power broker?
Yeah.
it's kind of like a crime boss, like a kingpin,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
Like she, like the kingpin you'll
Mhm.
go to, like in
She's the
Matchport. She's pretty
boss.
much running everything. Like I was like, as soon as she's like,
Oh.
oh yeah, I got this, and then she has access to a satellite. I was like, yep, she's the power broker. And lo and behold, she makes that call. Well, first she confronts Carly. She's made have a little back and forth, and like, and then the guy she hired. He was like, oh, so you're the power broker.
Mhm.
And he was like, oh, you're gonna pay me like 4 times what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yep. And like, obviously, I think one of the reasons why she killed Carly is because Carly was gonna out her
For
as a
sure.
power broker. So I think that was one
Oh.
of the reasons why she you know, put a few bullets in her
For
and
sure.
like keep her from talking.
Oh.
And then we see her in that mid-credit scene making that call and be like, oh, yo, I just got back in. I just got back in the door. So you about to have access to everything. It's like,
Mm.
damn.
But why does she have to stay low key about being the power broker?
Well, because if they find out she's the power broker, they're gonna shut her operation down.
Right. I think she was like a
Oh,
prominent figure in the U.S. government.
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
So,
yeah. She was working. She was working for Shield, I believe.
right. There
Mm.
was also that scene. It was small, so like if you blink, you missed it. It was like they they hunted down that guy who made the serum, right? They're at that
Yeah,
the shipping yard,
yeah,
Huh?
and then she was like, "I'm good, you guys go off," and then she had some random girl pick her up. I'm like, "Yo, where's she come from?" Like, it was
Right,
kind of like obvious at that point that she had connects. She had it like
right.
that, so I was like, "All right, there's more." There was definitely more, you know, than meets the eye with her.
yeah.
She was definitely hiding stuff.
And it's like, I mean, right off the bat, you see, like, she takes them to like this high class, like, apartments of like, so you're a fugitive, but you're living comfy. You're comfy right now.
Right.
There's no way in hell you ain't been messing around in some like illegal shit. So it's like, yeah, it's like there's no way you're that connected. It's like she's definitely playing for that team,
Mhm.
just putting up that front like she's helping. And um even after that whole like confronting the doctor who recreated the serum, she's like, "Oh, you might have two problems." It's like, "What you mean? It's supposed to be on the good team. What you mean we got two problems?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't trust Sharon. Not no more."
Right. Yeah,
So,
not for you. After what she did in the end, yeah.
but I am curious to see like what what role she plays going forward.
Right. That's what I was gonna ask.
It's gonna
Is
be interesting as hell.
yeah.
I'm also interested to see what happens with because remember in the ending when they arrest the final members of
Hmm.
the World Smashers. Was that
Flag
the name of the group?
Smashers? Yeah.
And there's that one dude who's in the military outfit, and
Yeah.
he repeats the slogan, and
One
he
world, one people.
yeah, and he blows up that car.
No, it wasn't him.
It
Oh,
was an
It
old
was
dude in a car.
I think he Baron Zemo's butler or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then
know
you
the
see
yeah.
you see Zemo chilling there, like reading his book, like, yep,
Yep. Dude's pulling the strings even in,
I
jail.
love that. I love
Like, damn.
that.
that's crazy.
He's like, bro, he won. I mean, he said he did what he basically set out to do,
Mhm.
eliminate all the super soldiers.
Yep.
Right.
It gave me some Wilson Fisk vibes the way, he's inside a cell but still king.
So calling shots.
Uh,
Like, damn, okay then, Baron Zemo. You did
but
your thing.
to your point, Carl, that dude that repeats the slogan, I'm like, okay, so there's other people within the government and military that are, have their own
Part of
Support
the
the
world
agenda.
smash.
cause.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. We'll see how all that plays out.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, to that end, like when they were like before they, made that move, the final move, the flag smashers, she was saying like even if we die, I
Mhm.
think the cause is strong enough to continue without us.
Yeah,
And
Mm,
that
yeah,
just goes to show you that she was right.
she basically dies a martyr, right?
Yeah.
And it almost empowers her in a way.
right.
So I feel like Carly 2.0 is gonna
Yep.
happen regardless.
Right.
Like you're not ready for that, and they're definitely not ready for it. And I can't wait to see things go to hell.
I feel like this time around it might be someone either who's brilliant or is probably a mutant. Well, not a mutant, but a superpower person.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, Carly was young as hell, so
yeah.
That's true.
yeah. Um, I want to take you guys back to episode 1 real quick.
Word.
um,
Do that.
so I think one of the best scenes in episode 1 is you know, Sam's at the bank with his sister and they're trying to get a loan. First of all, how was this man not getting paid as part of the Avengers? Y'all couldn't write him a check. Tony Stark, Shield,
Nah,
somebody write this dude a check.
For 5 years.
It's crazy.
But I think wasn't that was like during like when they before the blip, right? That was like after the blip, right? Or like
Yes.
before.
So like, yeah. So basically, he was gone for 5 years, had no credit or nothing like that, or no income. He had no income for the last 5 years, and he has to provide income for the past 5 years. It's like, bro,
I was gone. What you mean? Right.
like, but yeah, I feel like he should have got a check. Shield, Tony Stark,
Nah,
But
they
like
somebody.
they know they ain't paying brothers. Like,
wasn't he
yo, so
one of
you're
the
telling me I
ones
put my life on the line and I'm not even gonna die?
Yeah,
Like,
wasn't
damn,
he one of the
okay.
ones that was like that faded away when
yeah.
Thanos snapped the finger?
Yeah,
So wasn't he like kind of considered dead?
yeah.
Even then, even if he was considered dead, he could have still got a check.
Hmm.
Like, damn, like
Put that shit in a trust fund or something like that.
life insurance check. He should have been well taken care of in a way. I think,
Yeah.
as being part of Avengers, you're putting your life on the line all the time against aliens.
And
Right.
mind you, he's just a black dude, no powers and a superpower and shit.
Right.
Right.
So
But but yeah, that's also a really powerful scene where it's like it's a very giant message against the world we live in, where it's like, okay, you want to advance yourself and start a business. So you're like, all right, let me start a business. So you go to the bank to try to get your business started, and they're like, we can't help you out because you don't got enough money. But you can't make enough money if you don't got your business started. So now you're kind of stuck in poverty.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's another like giant message.
Right.
Like, I need money to like start. I need money to make money, but I can't make the money that I need to make the money.
I
So it's
was
just like a
Exactly.
never-ending loop. Like,
not even to get off topic, but
Yeah.
when they kept saying blip, I didn't know what that meant, so I looked it up.
Okay.
Um, but I was reading, but it was something Carly said when she said the reason why they brought the group together was to bring everything back the way it was. What was it before the blip?
Hmm.
And I was just reading up on that. I was saying that how like all the countries came together and worked together as one. So I was wondering why they kept saying one world, one people. Trying to create like a one world government. I kept wondering why she kept saying that. So like when I was looking into that kind of made sense. It kind of made me think. Remember her earlier? I was saying like conspiracy theory vibes. I was thinking back to a lot of conspiracy theory vibes. Where you see a lot of. I don't know if you guys like heard about this, but for a while, like the current pope right now has been going around formulating bonds in different like countries and whatnot. And he made like a decree, was telling the US to submit over their power over to the UK or to the UN because he deemed we are not fit to
Yeah.
be a superpower. So it's like I don't know. It was giving me those vibes. That one world, one government type vibes.
Right. I think when Carly says one world, one people, I don't think she means it government wise. I think she's trying to say, we're all one race, the human race, and we should
Right,
all be working together
yeah,
instead of being divided by imaginary lines, basically, right? That's what
right,
borders are, imaginary lines.
yeah,
right,
So I think that's where she was coming from. Um, yeah.
yeah. Me personally, I think so. Like, I think once Thanos happened, and like half of life was gone. Like everything was pretty much in shambles. And that kind of forced like everybody to come together and work together to find a solution
Hmm.
for for the remaining people that were left. And when you look at it, like when they did that, everything was peaceful the way and everything was working the way it should be. Like Mike said, like we're all in this together, and it actually showed it. Like everyone was taken care of, everyone had somewhere to live.
Hmm.
There was enough food and stuff to go around for everybody. So I think that's where they were trying to
Hmm.
get back to.
And
Right.
all these people coming back from the snap, the blip, it's like, okay, now we're having an overpopulation issue again.
Yeah.
So
Um, so in closing, what did you guys think? What did you guys think about like the future? The new Captain America going forward, and do you think he's gonna be like the main focus in the upcoming Captain America movie? Are they gonna go a different route with Steve? Like I don't know. What do you guys think?
well, I hope so. I mean, Sam taking on the shield, the way he took on the shield, you know, even with Isaiah Bradley kind of telling him, like, bro, you're really about to, rock those colors for this country with its history. And, him explaining why, yes, I gotta do it. So I hope he is Captain America, right? He has to be. But overall on the series, once again, 10 out of 10. I don't give out a lot of tens out of 10. I think it did a great job addressing all these issues. Like it's a basic, like if you look at the basic plot, it's like a basic action movie, right? It kind of felt like I was watching like Born Identity or something, like a little spy movie. But underneath all that, it addressed all these issues, which was amazing. And 6 episodes, accomplished it in 6 episodes, which is amazing. So shout out to Marvel. This is honest. I feel a little emotional. Probably like the best thing Marvel has done.
Until Black Panther 2 comes out. So,
But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Carl?
Yeah, no, honestly, man, my final thoughts about this series, I'm actually optimistic in what Marvel's gonna do in future like shows and series, because it's like this one they really knocked out of the park. Like,
Mhm.
they hit some key like points, and like Mike said, they did some things that you wouldn't have suspected
Mhm.
from Marvel. So it's like definitely optimistic about what's to come in the future. Like, but it was definitely a great series.
I mean, overall, I think so far it's like, out of WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think this is the better series.
Mhm.
Like I said, I definitely could relate to it more. So that just made me like enjoy watching it a lot more than I did, when I was watching WandaVision. That being said, they're both great series, and I am looking forward to Sam keeping the shield and going forward and starring in the Captain America, like because he is Captain America now. So it's like if they don't continue with that, I'd be a little disappointed. But I don't think they're gonna go that route. I think failing. Definitely think they're gonna continue on with him as like the star, and I'm
Right.
looking forward to it. And and whatever like whatever part he plays going forward. So I'm
Agreed.
excited for it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. All of us here at Ninja Talk would like to thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode. If you enjoy the show, make sure to go follow us on Twitter at Ninja Talk 3 and follow our Facebook page, Ninja Talk the Podcast. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube channel, Ninja Talk the Podcast, where we will be posting even more content. Podcasts drop every Tuesday on Anchor, so make sure you go subscribe to get upload notifications. Once again, my name is Eric, and this has been Ninja Talk.